Okay, Tim, so these are a few things you might be interested in. This is an email that's come through from Sandra Chambers to with Inside Government, some of the plans that they're putting forward.
Cambridgeshire state schools are the most underfunded by the government in the UK. They currently get £600 per pupil less than the English average, the lowest in the entire country. Schools in and around London get the highest amount per pupil, getting on average £7,000, whereas in Cambridge per pupil is around £4,000. How is this affecting students in these schools, and what do the staff think about this?
Thanks, Tim. Well, staff, I think, are very, very frustrated. They do feel that it's grossly unfair, which it is, and they feel very frustrated that they can't provide the best opportunities for you, and that's why they come into teaching, and that's why they're here. I think pupils certainly would equally have that element of frustration. You want the best, and you want to have the best facilities, but I would hope to think that largely through the way that we do deploy the funds that we've got, by the way we do manage the budget, so actually we can give the best and get the best value for money, which is even more important to get the most out of every penny that we have.
How do you think the underfunding of Cambridge schools affects the students' education?
I think that there's always going to be a connection you're going to make between funding and outcomes. I think that there's got to be. Clearly, I think that if you've got more money coming in that you can put in for smaller groups, better resources, then you can work and help students to achieve higher results. There'll be some students that would get great results regardless of the resources that are there, but some that are going to require more and more supported intervention. So there's inevitably going to be that connection and that link. Our challenge as a school in Cambridgeshire, as long as all the Cambridgeshire schools, is to make sure that we get the best value for that money, and we are very careful and cautious with the way we're spending the money to make sure that we don't have that gap.
What do you think students and teachers can do to raise money for the local schools around the area?
Yeah, it's sad that we've got to think about that, and that we've got to think about fundraising to be able to do the jobs and to give you the best. But we are doing that. We are looking at doing a whole school sponsored walk this summer. We're splitting the money between a number of charities, but some of it will be coming into the school directly.
Do you think the local MPs at the moment are helping us to get a decent amount of money for schools in East Anglia?
Actually, Liz Fraser, who's our local MP, is brilliant at this. She really has been championing the cause of the schools. About a year and a bit ago, myself and 6 other heads locally met with Michael Gove, the then Education Minister, to put our point of view across as to why we felt the funding was very unfair. As you then know, Mr Gove was replaced as Education Secretary a couple of months later, and Nikki Morgan is now in post. We've met with her as well, and she has pledged to look at our situation and try to, as they call it, the fairer funding solution that they come through to do. Within Cambridgeshire, there is a small group of head teachers that are spearheading the fairer funding formula campaign to make sure the government keep it on their agenda.
What do you think the right amount of money is for the government to be funding state schools in the UK?
I think if you're looking at an overall average, you mentioned your figures quite accurate at the very beginning, that in London it's around 7,000, just over 7,000 per pupil. I think that there needs to be a parity across the UK, probably 5,500 for Key Stage 3 and probably 6,000, 6,500 for a Key Stage 4 pupil.
Thank you very much, Mr Terry.